Okay, guys, welcome to another Monday night Grub Cast. I've got a great guest sitting in the backstage right now, waiting on us. I'm going to run through the sponsors real quick, Dustin, and then I'll bring you on. Tonight, too, we're going to do a trivia question. I got a real good one tonight, I think. 4-inch minnow, Tennessee Ghost from Hook and Donkeys. A really good minnow for forward-facing sonar. Okay, sponsors. Fish Sticks Rods, Hook and Donkeys, Sanborn Builders, Ace Hardware, Hobbs Roofing, Pizza Stop, Southern Ohio Sanitation, Williams & Son Construction, and Raccoon Creek Outfitters. And guys, that's the guest I have tonight that's coming on is Dustin Hoy, the owner of Raccoon Creek Outfitters. He's going to be doing some talking about a new kayak circuit he's got going on and just everything about his adventure in the kayak business. With nothing else said, I'm going to bring Dustin into the show. So here we are with Dustin Hoy. Hey, Dustin.
How's it going, guys?
How you
Can you
doing?
hear me?
Yep,
I'm
hear
good.
you fine. Yep.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for having me on, buddy.
Not a problem. Thank you for coming on. I like getting especially my sponsors on, and then I want to sell some kayaks for you.
That'd be a great day.
Which we're going to have a chance to do that here in the next few months. It looks like we've got a lot of shows coming up. You can mention what shows you're going to be at too if you want, and talk about that new circuit you got coming up.
Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. As I'm Dustin Hoy with Raccoon Creek Outfitters. My wife and I own the shop. We're going into our 10th season. So it's kind of hard to believe that we've already been doing this for 10 years already. So that's pretty big feat for us. We've basically built one of the largest and top of the line kayak shops in Ohio and probably surrounding states, which is pretty cool. The amount of people that travel multiple hours come to the shop to pick up boats, to have boats rigged. We do everything from installing motors to working on boats to kind of you name it. So it's kind of nice to kind of be in this industry. It's a small industry. It's kind of the fishing industry as a whole is a pretty small industry. So been pretty blessed with being able to kind of stay in this. And we have a lot of really cool stuff going on this year. You kind of mentioned the tournament trail. So that's definitely going to be kind of it's a new addition to us this year. We've got 5 basically events going to happen. I'm starting in April. April 11th is our first show, our first tournament. And basically we're doing something kind of unique to the industry when it comes to tournament trails. Most of them are based on a lake or a river or like a set body of water. And we're just basically, we're doing a 50-mile radius. So basically anybody can fish any public water. So if you want to fish Lake Snowden or Dow Lake or Lake Rupert, Logan, was there Tycoon? There's probably half a dozen other lakes I'm forgetting about right off the bat.
Lake White.
Within that, yeah, Lake White, Lake Jackson. It's all within that 50-mile radius. So I mean, there's incredible lakes that you can fish. But not only that, you have the rivers and the creeks.
Yep.
So when you start talking rivers and creeks, I mean it's infinity miles that you can fish. I mean, we pretty much within a 50-mile radius of us, you can fish 90% of the Hocking River. You've got a huge monstrous section of the Raccoon Creek. You got Little Raccoon, you got Salt Creek, you got the side of the rivers, a kind of big chunk of it's inbound. So, and actually even a small chunk of the Ohio River, down around like Middleport, Pomeroy area and stuff like that, where the circle goes, it's all kind of in play. So, yeah, so it's really exciting to be able to do that. And some of the other things we're doing, basically our trail, we want to get the people that have never really fished the kayak scene, get them involved. So it's going to be a very laid back, educational type trail. A great trail to learn all the ins and outs. It's a low buy-in. So basically, if you've never fished a kayak tournament, you can come in. We're doing free camping at the shop. The ceremonies and everything's going to be all right there at our shop. We're going to have food. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have a youth division. So, if like you and your child want to go out on the water, we can set it up and you guys can go out and go fishing and be part of the trail. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And basically you can fish if you have a $10,000 kayak, there's stuff you can fish. And if you have a $150 kayak from Walmart, you can still go out and fish and actually compete and probably do really well. So, as well as I did, all these little backwaters around here hold some really good fish. So, yep. So having the ability to be able to sneak in on some of those little spots, is kind of going to be key in this event. So,
now, question: can you just fish one of them? Do you have to fish all of them?
you can fish just one if you want to. We are doing Angler of the Year points, that kind of stuff. So if you want to take a run at the Angler of the Year, basically the way we're doing that is every event. We're starting off, first place gets 100 points, second place gets 99, third, 98, and it goes down the list. So as long as you compete, you catch a fish, you have a chance for Angler of the Year. So,
and what's the buy-in?
I think it's going to be $50.
$50.
Yep.
Okay.
And that gets you free camping, gets you entered into a tournament. It gets you, we always do a big dinner, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to play into that.
So do they meet at the shop and then leave from the shop and go fishing, or how's that going to work?
It's kind of up to you. Their ceremony will be at the shop.
Yeah. The end of the day.
So at the end of the day, as long as you have the identifier and you can basically leave from your house, or if you're staying somewhere closer to the water that you want to, you can always leave from there. We would like to see people stay at the shop, come and camp or hang out, especially on like Friday night, because we're going to do some just hanging out and checking out people's boats and if somebody's having a problem rigging up a kayak, or is having issues with their boats or any of that kind of stuff, we have all the stuff right there. We can dive into it and kind of help fix people's rigs and make everything they have is a little bit better if they want it. So, and the guys that are coming in that are camping are probably top of the line when it comes to the rigging capabilities and fixing stuff that, hey, we got this little spot here, this problem, and rewiring boats to graphs, whatever. So, and on top of it, it's just, I think it'd be a good time on Friday nights and Saturday nights if anybody wants to come, just to see everybody's kayaks, talk to the anglers, see why this person rigged their boat up the way they did versus this person over here. It's just going to be, like I said, it's going to be more laid back. It's going to be competition. I mean, any tournament's competition.
Yeah.
But it's going to have a fun atmosphere to go with it, is what we're shooting for. So, yeah, that's our big goal, is to educate the ones that have never done it. I know there's a lot of anglers that would love to try the tournament scene, but they don't know what to do or how to do it, how to take the pictures, how to submit anything, and any of that. So that's a great time for, like, on Friday night to come in and learn all that aspect of it. And then our first 3 events on Sunday after the tournament, I'm hosting a ACA intro class. ACA is basically, it's American Canoe Kayak Association. And basically, I got certified to teach paddling, teach safe water entry, teach people how to rig the boats up. So if something happens and they do come out of their boat, to be able to get back in their boat safely, that kind of stuff. So, and some of our kayaks, if we flip them over way out in the middle of a lake, having the knowledge to be able to flip back up, get back into the kayak, because some of them are big. I mean, my lake boat, it's a big boat.
Got more graphs on it than my bass boat does.
Yep. Yeah, we just installed the new power pool vision on it, 12-inch today. So, and that thing's like a big tablet. It's cool as heck. I'll be able to watch football games while fishing. So,
I noticed there was, like, is that a camera that was on top of that?
it is. Yep. So it's just set up to be able to do live streaming, any of that kind of stuff while you're out on the water. You can set it up through any social media platform and do live streaming while you're out on the water, that kind of stuff. So
I seen that and I was like, well, it's not a GoPro. And then I zoomed in on it and I seen it said Vision. So,
yep.
So it's set up to actually do live right on the kayak.
Right on the kayak. Yep.
That's neat. Now, does it go through your phone or?
Nope. It actually comes with its own like SD card type setup. So it's its own tablet. I mean,
so
same as like your Apple tablet. Yep, it's got its own service plan. So,
okay.
Yep, It's pretty neat. We played around with it quite a bit today and downloaded a few apps and stuff onto it. I connected my trolling motor to it. Both of my graphs are actually connected to it now. My batteries are actually connected to it. And you can do like split screens and stuff like you can do on your like your regular Garmin or Lowrance or any of that kind of stuff. So I can actually have my motor pulled up and see how much power it's pulling, how fast I'm going, all that kind of stuff through it. But I can also pull up my batteries and determine at this speed how many hours I can run, how many miles I can run before my battery dies. any of that kind of stuff. So
That's neat.
yeah, so it's pretty neat the amount of information. And the big thing that really kind of sold me on it was I use a lot of like Google Earth Pro. Um, and it's a great app. I don't know if you play around with it a whole lot, but it's an app so you can like zoom in, say on a lake, and you can see structures and all that kind of stuff. Boat ramps, to docks, all your normal stuff on Google Earth. But you can also change the dates on it. So you can go back, say, like in the wintertime, or you're going to go fish an event and you want to see kind of where the water was like last year at this time, around this date. And you can go back and look and say, oh, look, this is the water quality for basically the whole month of May. This is kind of what it looked like. This is the visibility that you could have. So if you're traveling, doing a lot of like distance tournaments, you can gain a ton of information just by looking at the maps and doing map study.
Okay.
So I use that a lot. And like in the wintertime, especially on rivers and stuff like that, the water clears up so much that you can zoom in on it. You have no tree or leaf cover, so you can see a lot more of the water. But you can scan an area you're planning on fishing and look for down trees in the water that's submerged, to big rock gardens, to all that kind of stuff. So when you hit the water, say in May, when the water's already got some stain on it, you can have on your GPS or on your fish finder, hey, I've got a rock garden here and I got a point coming out here, and there's a handful of logs, all laying together and creating some pockets and that kind of stuff up under the spot over here. So when you're getting down close to it, you can watch your graph and say, oh, look, I know there's some fish over here. I got to, right on top of them trying to look for that stuff. And spooking fish off, you can actually cast to them from a distance. So
Well, that's how I do a lot of, if I'm going to be fishing somewhere that I don't know, I'll go on Google Earth and then go back to drawdown when the lakes are
yep,
drawed down,
yep,
and you do the research then. But then
yep.
I got to get on my phone and go through my phone on the mapping to mark the spots
Mark all the
before.
spots.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
you can do it right on your unit.
I can do it right on my unit. And actually, if you got Garmin, I use it a lot because I can actually connect my Google Earth Pro to my Garmin or my Active Captain account,
Mm-hmm.
and I can share pins off of it. So I can go down through, mark all my stuff I want on Google Earth, share it to my Active Captain's account, and then use it to log into my Garmin's, and it automatically throws my pins right on it.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good way to gain some really good knowledge of an area without having to be on the water. So it helps you eliminate water really quick and kind of gets you a little bit more time on where the fish should be. So
Yeah, I seen that today. I was like, he's got more grass on his kayak than I do my bass boat.
yeah, and part of that is I'm kind of rigging it up. This is the first year. The guys at the shop wants to at the Columbus Fishing Expo coming up right at the end of January, 1st of February. We always host a kayak rigging competition. And basically anybody that has a kayak and they're pretty proud of the way they have it set up, they can bring it in, enter it into the competition. It's free to enter. And the public comes through and votes on everybody's boats. And we got everything from keeping it simple, which is just basically a pretty simple boat, something that you can go out and fish out of, but it's just going to be, quick little throw and go boat or just a basic boat. Then we're doing best of show, and then we're also doing rig to the gills, and that's kind of what my guys, want to go for. So, yeah, yeah, it's the boats are getting a little out of control, but
Probably hard
yeah,
to
I've
get it
got.
in and out of the water.
I loaded it all on the trailer. I back my trailer in just like you do a bass boat. I run it right off my trailer with my remote on from my trolling motor, and I load it the same way. I'll back the trailer in, get out, running my kayak right up onto my trailer, get back in, pull up the ramp. I can do it probably as quick, if not quicker, than you can your bass boat almost.
But that
So
also limits you to where all you can fish then too.
it does. Yep. There's, and I had a bass boat for years. And I got into the kayak tournaments and stuff like that and really just went deep into it. But I catch myself when I have my bass boat, I would run pretty hard to this spot here, make a handful of casts. If I don't catch nothing, I'm firing back up and I'm running to another spot. And you fish it for, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and see if you can't get any hits. Nothing. You bail out and you go to another spot. With the kayak, it made me slow down and really break down an area because you're limited, like you said, you're limited on where you can go and how fast you can get there. So if you get into an area where there's good fish at, now it's a matter of figuring out where they're at, what they're biting, and you learn to break down the water so much more and be more precise on trying to figure the fish out. So I think all in all, for me, I think it made me a better angler because you can't run to this hot spot and you're looking for those fish that are on fire. Sometimes you're dealt with a hand that you're forced to fish what you have, and you break it down. You start working some bottom baits, some jerk baits or crank baits, and then you run it up on top water, and you just keep breaking it down to eventually you find a fish and figure out what you can make them get mad enough to eat it.
Yeah, I run into
So,
that. Actually, I went yesterday down to Pomeroy in the
hmm,
boat, and I caught myself yesterday running here, running there, running here, running there. Now I
yep,
didn't
and
go
that's
10 miles, but I just kept running and running.
yep. It's like, man, I know there should be a fish right here, and you go in, you fish for it for a couple minutes, and they don't hit, and you blow out.
Mm-hmm.
And with the kayak, unfortunately, you don't have that ability. You get into an area where it's like, man, I know there's fish here, and then you have to really start breaking it down and to figure them out. And you've been there. You catch them on one day here, you get back to that same spot, and they're gone.
They're gone. Yep.
Yep, yep. Sometimes they've only moved 30 yards,
Mm-hmm.
but when I had a bass boat, that 30 yards, I wasn't even looking at it. For some reason, there's a stump laying there where they all decide to go to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And with the kayak, it makes you start. It's like, oh, I know there's fish here. Where'd they go? And what are they eating? So,
Yeah, when you put in an area, you're committed to that area.
yep,
The kayak.
yep, yep. And I've been in tournaments where I've literally loaded my boat up, my gear up, and drove to other ramps, launched and went and fished it. And it's just like, oh, the same. I'm not getting the fish aren't hitting here. Loaded my boat back up and went to another one. It's just like you kill a lot of time loading and unloading and doing all that, but sometimes you just gotta swing for the fences. So
Yes. Yeah. You want to touch base on your touch there on what else shows are you going to be at?
we're starting the year off at the Great Lakes
Great Lakes.
Expo up in Girard.
Okay.
basically Youngstown area.
Hmm.
That one's what, the 9th, January through the 11th.
Yep.
We're coming back. We have your event.
Yep.
They're here in Athens. Was it the 17th? I'm trying to run numbers to my head. Yeah, that one's the 17th. And then we're heading to the Muskie Show up in Columbus the weekend after.
Okay.
We'll be up there that weekend, and then the following weekend is the National Fishing Expo in Columbus also. And that's our big one. We've got another one kind of mid-February. It's over towards Dayton. It's just a little small. It's kind of small. One day, it's a high school show. So,
Okay.
so we're going to go to that one. And then we're also doing the open season. It used to be the old Deer and Turkey Expo.
Okay. Back up to Columbus again.
Yep, back up in Columbus again. So,
Okay. That's in March, isn't it? I think that's
yeah, I think it's
March.
like mid-March. Yep.
Yeah. Right before
Yep.
turkey season.
Yep. Yeah, I'm wanting to say it's like it's usually somewhere around the 16th, 17th through like the 21st, somewhere, whatever that weekend is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's it for the main shows. We got another one in August, but we're already on the books for it. So, and it's another deer. It's a deer hunting expo. So,
Okay.
yeah. So we got a pretty full plate.
Send me the dates of your tournaments.
Okay,
'Cause
I could do
I
that.
might jump into one just to well, it'd give me a reason. I've got a brand new kayak. It's been in my building for 3 years. Ain't never seen the water.
Well, we need to change that.
Last spring I got it out and I was like, I want to raise the seat up, so I put some blocks in it to raise the seat up a little bit
Yep.
and put it back in the building where my boat is, and it's sat there ever since. I'm it may be 4 years old and it's never ever seen the water. Never put it on the water.
Oh, you're due. So,
Yes. Well, I
and
got
we
a little.
actually,
Go ahead.
on May 23rd, which is Memorial Day weekend, we have an event that weekend or that Saturday. And that Saturday night, I don't know if you've heard of Addison Johnson. He
Mm,
plays a lot of music. He's out of Tennessee. And he's actually going to come in and play music. So we're going to have some live music, good food, all that stuff that weekend. I think we're also doing a cornhole tournament and stuff all that weekend too. So it'll keep us pretty busy that weekend.
yeah,
So,
I'm running. I'll be running a tournament. I help run the tournament down on the river for the uh, Let's Dock Campground. Has their Memorial Day weekend tournament on that
okay.
Saturday.
Yep.
That don't mean I can't run down Saturday evening and check out the music and stuff.
I was going to say, yep. You always come in and hang out for the music and the food. So,
But
yeah.
we got in back in COVID. We got into doing like the kayak fishing tournaments, but we was in bass boats. I've got the big yellow ruler, the tag,
Mm-hmm.
right, the stuff down at the info that you had to have, and you laid it on the
Yep.
fish on the board and took a picture.
And
And yeah,
submitted it.
we did that in during COVID when they wouldn't letting us have tournaments and stuff. We started running them that way and would fish tournaments that way during COVID. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. And it just made it simple.
Yep.
And actually, I talked to a biologist several years ago, and we were talking about bass boats and kayak tournaments and the tournament scene as a whole. And they were talking about like during spawn that he was kind of advocating to try to get more people, more trails during the spawn months to switch up and go towards the picture taking.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you pull them off a bed or something like that, or even pull them, like a fry garter. Um, Pull them in, you get the picture real quick, and turn them loose, and there's a really good chance that nothing touched that nest or those fry. So it gives you just a little bit better chance to make that population of bass a little bit bigger, a little stronger. So,
That makes sense.
yep, yeah, he had it like all broke down in odds and statistics, and um, he was talking about a lot of guys pull them off beds, throw them in their live well, and by the time they release them later, and if that fish ever makes it back to the bed, something's already went in and ransacked it, and that hatch is gone. So,
Yeah.
yep,
Huh.
and I'm guilty of it myself. You see, a big female on a bed and a couple bucks or whatever. You pull the bucks off, throw them in the live well, pull the female out,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you throw the bucks back if you don't need them. But
Oh yeah.
even
Yeah.
just that time frame, those bluegill or anything else will go in and they can put a hurting on a nest pretty quick.
One of the easiest fish to catch is when it's chasing bluegill off its bed
Yep,
because it's
it
very
is.
aggravated. It's
Yep,
very
they're
aggravated.
already.
If I see him chasing, I'm like, oh, you can be caught.
Yep, 100%. Yep. And I'm 100% guilty of it myself. I do it on a regular. It's just like, yep,
So,
yeah. We caught a 26 incher down in Florida last year off a bed. It took us about 45 minutes to finally make her mad enough to actually eat our bait, but
hey,
she was worth it. 26 inches is a big fish.
you
It,
ain't a
it
kid.
paid money.
Yeah. I bet that. I bet it's interested to bed fish out. Of course, you guys can stand up in your kayaks.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think with my knees. I don't think I could stand up in a John boat, let alone a kayak. Might be a little
uh,
bit front top heavy too on me.
well, me too. Me too. But no, actually, like with my boat, I stand up. I'm always standing in it. But a lot of times, if like my knees are hurting, I'll stand up and lean back of my legs up against my seat because my
Yeah.
seat sits 13 and a half, almost 14 inches in the air off the
So
deck.
yeah, that makes it
So,
easier to get up.
yep. Yeah. So you're not sitting there with your legs straight out in front of you and you're trying to get from that position to standing.
Yeah.
It's literally like you're sitting in a regular chair. So
That's one reason I
it's,
put them wood blocks in mind to try to get it to where I'm up a little bit more than
you get the
setting the
height.
legs straight out. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. That's what used to get me is when I used to fish with my legs straight out. My legs are good numb. My hips would hurt to the point that it was just miserable being in the boat. And I got into fishing a little bit better kayaks, a little bit taller seats. And the industry has changed so much over the last years. So I mean, the height of the seats are going way up. Some of the boats are getting wider. My boat's 42 inches wide, and it's just shy. It's a couple of inches shy of 13 foot. And I think it has like a little over a 750-pound weight capacity. So it's a big boat. I mean, it's
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Now, at this, like your circuit that you're running, is there going to be
Mhm.
a certain length of fish before you can measure them and take a picture of it, or
It's pretty standard across the road, and it's 12 inches.
12 inches? Okay.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So it's basically 12 inches or larger. Um, and one of the big things is, and we'll go into that on our pages and stuff too, is you want to make sure the fish is facing left on your board, measuring board, and make sure it's facing left with the belly towards you, and the mouth is closed all the way.
Close. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And other than that, that's pretty much you have your ID, make sure it's in the picture, and you're ready to submit it.
I got
And
I got a place in mind that could be a lot of fun. That ain't got boat ramps to get in it, and
that's
it's
not a
public
bad thing.
water. It's public water.
Yep. I tell you, little honey holes like that is key. I mean, and that's what I tell everybody is you don't have to have, the biggest and baddest kayak out there. If you can get into these little hole in the wall spots, you drag your kayak through the woods or the brush. I've got a little spot out in the middle of Alaska State Forest. I used to fish,
Ain't
and
a pond, is
literally,
it?
nope, it's a pond. It's actually part of a creek.
Oh, is it?
It's
Okay.
it's a tributary that flows into the Raccoon.
Raccoon. 'Cause I know of a
But
pond that you walk out into.
yep, this is the beavers dammed it up. So
Yep.
yep, that might be the same
Uh,
spot.
well,
But
what I'm thinking of is Hawking River.
oh, yep,
Yeah, there's a little
yep.
stretch of it that could be a lot of fun fishing at times.
I tell you, I love to fish the Hawking. The Hawking's just incredible. I go up. I usually fish the very top end of it,
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Grove area.
What you see, that would be out of the 50-mile radius from your place.
Actually, it's not. It's right at the edge.
Oh, is it? Because I was
It
thinking my
is.
spot would be at the 50-mile radius,
Nope.
and
Nope.
it's Logan.
Okay. Nope. No. The 50-mile radius is actually clear up right almost at the bridge, in Sugar Grove.
Okay.
Um, so you can actually fish a little piece of the Rush Creek,
That's good. Yep.
where it flows into the Hawking. That is basically that edge of that 50-mile radius. So,
Okay.
and people don't think 50 miles is that far, but if you're talking a straight line, like as a crow flies, it's a long ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's 50
Yep.
from your shop.
It is. Yep.
Okay. Yep. A 50
Yep.
mile radius circle around from your shop.
Yep. And anything public inside of that.
Public inside of it.
Yep.
Strip mines ain't
So,
considered public, is it?
nope. I wish.
I know a
Yep.
couple of those secret spots too. A couple of them
Me
you might
too.
get shot if you go in, but
There's
they
a good
got some
chance there.
big fish. They got some
Yep.
big fish in them.
Yeah, I know a couple spots that, and actually one of the spots I fished it a few times. I did a few really good videos on it. It's one of the old quarry lakes, just off the edge of 33, just south of Logan. Owned by Hawking Concrete.
Yep. Yep.
And I had a friend of mine that was family with them, and he was able to get me in and did just a few videos and stuff of YouTube videos, and it was, I tell you, those lakes are full of monsters. But you can't get permission to fish them.
Nope. Nope. I know one right by my dad's house right now that has got some probably a state record in it, but you can't get in there. They won't let you fish it.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild, some of the fish that are in some of these places. But yeah, that lake there.
Go ahead.
Oh, good.
Back in probably early 80s, I seen a 48-pound shovelhead come out of that strip mine I'm talking about.
Oh, wow.
That was in the early 80s.
That's insane. That's a monster. Yep. Yeah, I tell you what, speaking of catfishing, we've been sponsoring a few of the kayak and catfishing trails on the past couple of years. And I went up to Sandusky Bay with the one event. It was up there. And the guys, I was like, look, I'm a bass guy. I'm not going to lie. I don't know a whole lot about catfishing. and they were like, just show up. You show up, we will take care of you. I'm like, all right. I showed up, had some rods, had my net, everything that I felt I needed. And they helped me do my setup, my rig, and we went out on the water. I tell you what, I caught so many fish to the point that my arms were sore. It was just like it was. We started at I think it was like six or 6:30 in the morning, and by noon, 1 o'clock, I'm like, I could be done fishing. Like this is work. Yep, and I guarantee I caught 35, 40 fish, anywhere from 25 to like 35 inches in length. 30-pound channel cat.
Mhm.
It was like, this is insane.
I was up there in a BFL one time at Sandusky Bay,
Hmm.
and I got so tired of catching 2 and 3, 4 pound channel cats on plastic. I was like,
Yep.
I'm going to quit throwing plastic and start. I said, I'm going to throw a spinner bait. And I started catching them on damn spinner bait.
You
They was
can't.
eating spinner bait. I'm like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yep.
Uh,
Crank
I,
baits, jerk
I knew I
baits,
had 50
any of
fish
it.
that day. And I mean, when you hook one that's 4 or 5 pounds, it's like, well, this is taking 15, 20 minutes to get it in
Yep.
because it's just going wherever it wants.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's
when
the
they're
way it was with
spawning up
us.
there, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're on the spawn up there, it is just absolutely. If you can't catch a catfish up there, you can't fish.
100%. Yep. 100%. I tell you, we caught, and it was just fun. I mean, it's amazing how many fish you can catch up there,
Hmm.
and the sheer power that those things have. So,
Yeah. Yep.
yep. Then went to Hoover Reservoir with the guys, and I caught a couple of them that was like mid 20 blue cats. But I watched the guy pull one out, and it was upper 40s to 50 pound. And I tell you, you put a 50 pound fish in your kayak. That's a
It's a
that's a
challenge.
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm sure it's pulling you around the water while you're landing it.
oh, it is. Yeah, you're a bobber on the back of it.
Hmm.
So,
Yep.
yep. Nah, it's amazing that those guys and the fish that they catch. Um, the trail ended up because it's a national event, and they ended up down in Louisiana. And the one guy, he sent me a video. He's like, "Look at this one," and he caught around 5 liter or 5 foot alligator gar,
Hmm.
and that was another fish. I would love to go down there and do that. I think that would be just incredible to try to catch them. But yeah, nothing but big teeth and big scales, and it wants to eat you as much as you want to get your hook back.
Yeah,
So
that'd be interesting getting in a kayak too.
he landed it. He drug it up in there and got a picture with it. And I was like, "Yep, you're crazy."
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on. Have you got anything else that you want to touch on?
I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much covered most of it. The big things is definitely come out and see us at the shows. Come check out your show. Definitely January 17th for the support the Alexander fishing team. Um, and rather than that, just be safe out on the water, guys. So from bass boats to the kayaks, the water can be kind of treacherous. So
Hmm. Especially this time of year.
yep, for sure.
It was 39 degrees yesterday on the river.
That's cold. Yeah, you definitely don't want to get wet.
No,
So
no, no. And we'll get you back on, again before you start your circuit, and maybe right after your first tournament, have you back on again. You can talk about how it went,
okay, yep,
and
definitely.
that'd be
And if
be
anybody
fun to
wants to
find out how
learn,
it goes.
yep, and if anybody wants to learn more about the kayak industry and how to do the kayak tournaments and take the pictures, to the gear you need, and that kind of stuff, reach out to me. Reach out to the shop. Um, we will have some videos on taking pictures of the fish, everything all online on our tournament page. But you can also just come to the shop. We have everything right there, and we can definitely do a really good kind of seminar class with anybody that wants to learn. So,
And you guys is the first place past Raccoon Creek on Route 50, leaving Albany, right?
yep, yep, we're right at the
Getting
corner of
south.
356 and 50. Yep.
Right. Now, is it
Uh,
Raccoon Creek or is it Raccoon River now?
it's still creek.
Is it? I thought
Um,
they claimed it a river now.
it is. It's a scenic river, but it is still the name of it is still the Raccoon Creek.
Raccoon Creek.
So,
Okay.
but they measured it, had it remeasured by satellite back in like the early 2000s, and on distance, it is actually considered as a river. Yep.
Me and somebody else was talking about that the other day.
Yep. Yeah, it's 100 and I think 13 miles, 112 miles long. So, and I think a lot of it kind of depends on where you want to start it at, because on the Google Maps or the Google, it showed it clear up in Star, like way up in Star, like close to New Plymouth area, and it's a ditch. So, do you really consider that as a creek, or is that,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
where do you consider the start of it at? Could play a large part of it. So,
And see, a lot of people don't realize the Hocking River starts up in Columbus.
yep, and
It's
it's a ditch.
Yep, just a creek. You go
Yep,
about the first bridge you come across coming out of Columbus on 33 is about the beginning of it,
it is. Yep,
and it's just a creek.
yep, yep. You almost step across it. So,
Yep. Okay, well, I'm going to do the trivia question. Do you want to stay on for it, or you want me to put you
sure.
backstage? Or okay,
Yep,
I'll
I'll
leave
jump
you
on.
on. Okay. Again, it's the Tennessee Ghost 4-inch minnow from Hook and Donkeys. This is a thanks to Greg Kirkendall again. He's been sending me some good stuff here for trivia questions. Let's see. This one. Okay. What is the name of the guy that was first to drive a V6 outboard motor on a bass rig? What is the name of the guy that was the first to drive a V6 outboard motor on a bass rig? What was his name? We got all kind of guys been on here tonight. We got two guys from North Carolina, Gary Malkin, Mark Malkin, and Nick Kincaid's been on. There's Aaron, Tim Wilson gets it. Damn, Tim, that was quick. Earl
Good job,
Bentz,
Tim.
he didn't mess around at all.
Uh
Uh, Earl Bentz, he founded 1976. He founded the Stratus boats and then went on over to start Triton boats. But Earl was the first one to ever drive a V6 outboard motor, and he was the one that said that the 150s was going to take over the bass boat rigs. And boy, was he right.
uh
And did he make millions on doing that? Uh, Rose, you're close on that one. Tim, I'll send you. I think I might have your address already. Uh, or are you going to be at the meeting next week? You're going to be at the meeting next week. I'll bring them to you at the meeting. Brian Rose said Charlie Grubbs. You're real close to that, Brian. He had a 150 on a Ranger 1976 Ranger. a 150 Mercury that he traded a coonhound for it. Okay, Tim, I'll bring it to the meeting. He traded a coonhound for his first bass boat off of Jim Kirkendall. That was in the early 80s that he got that bass boat. Man, we catch a lot of fish off of it. Okay, that's totally up to you, Tim. If you want me to put it in the kids' pile, I'll put it in the kids' pile. You guys are building up the kids' pile. I'm going to have to find some kids. I hope some show up to the show. Yeah, Brian, it was a good trade for both of them. Again, we'll touch real quick on shows. The Great Lakes Expos, the 9th through the 11th at Girard up in Youngstown. Athens County, the Alexander Bass High School kids is having a swap meet January 17th at the Market on State here in Athens. Get a hold of me. I am getting a bunch of vendors signed up. So, guys, get a hold. You're welcome, Dustin. I really appreciated you coming on. Also, the 30th through the 1st of February is the Columbus Expo up in Columbus. And then Ohio Bass Federation has their open meeting at Delaware on February 7th up at Delaware Gun Club. So, guys, have a safe and happy New Year. We'll start out next Monday night. We'll start out the new year of 2026. And we'll keep going on. This show's growing and growing. I've had last week we had I was in the 500 views on Wednesday, and I ain't even looked at it since then. So I appreciate all of yous out there viewing it and being on and watching and all that good stuff. It means a lot. And like again, my sponsors that I talk about on here, go out and spend some money with them. They help me out. Let's help them out. We just pass this money around all the time. And I have to say too, with Aaron was on here a minute ago. Wow, what is that floor in the bottom of my boat? I love it. I had it on the beginning of the show here. Strict Marine Plus. He can put that in your boat for you. And I'm pretty sure he can get other names, like Ranger, Stratus, stuff like that for the boats and install it for you. And he does an amazing job. And Aaron, the boat run great. I didn't get to really see a lot of speed because the current was really ripping coming downriver and I was going upriver. Had a pretty good current, but the boat run great. So I'm very pleased with that. And guys, thanks again for everybody. You guys down south there, Gary and Nick, I appreciate you getting on, taking the time tonight to watch. I hope you guys ain't got this wind and stuff that we got. Wow, it turned cold today. But enough of that. Everybody stay safe over the New Year's. I will see you next Monday night in a new year of 2026. I'll see you then.